Right, let's try this again then. SBR Sim Racing British Touring Car Championship, round 7, 8 and 9 from Suzuka East course, and we're back for some more rough and tough racing from our star drivers in what's proven a very popular championship. And speaking of which, Nathan leads it by nearly 20 points ahead of Ben, the reigning champion, then Liam, Sean, who's not racing tonight due to family reasons, ahead of Lewis and Adam, with Jeff up there quite well at the middle part of this championship, and just see how he goes in these races. But it's also RT Racing Ford that lead the way ahead of Mercedes, Chevy, Audi, Ford, Vauxhall, Seat, and the other 4 team at the back with Greg and Leon. So let's get into it then. And qualifying saw the usual suspect of Nathan on pole, Ben pulling out a lap at the end to get second, ahead of Adam, Lewis, Liam, Greg, Will, Coleman standing in for who was he standing in for this week? I believe it was Chris in the pink Panther car basically, but the pretty pink car. And the lights go on then, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5. Who's going to get the start? Can Nathan convert pole into a victory? No way, and he got a pretty slack start, and Adam's got off the line like a bullet, and he's just got nowhere to go though because Ben's crowding him as they head into turn 1. But it looks like Nathan's just about going to do enough. Ben looks standing inside, but there's no room, and now he'll do well to hold off Adam, who's swooped around the outside. There's 2 lanes in there, and there's a bit of contact, but a side-by-side contact, and Adam loses out to the Audi, and in fact he might even lose out to Lewis, who's trying to sweep around the outside. Jeff's off at turn 1, rejoins quite dramatically, and then slams in the side of Leon, who's off the track. Leon's normally the victim of first lap incidents, and nothing's changed in this race, but Nathan already stretching a small gap to Ben, with Adam also just hanging on in there. Lewis, good start up to 4th there. It's a field funnel through, Will a bit tight on the inside there, and a good start for John as well. He's moved up a few positions, but Nathan already screaming away from the pack, which we've seen quite a lot this season. And Adam and Lewis in combat, which we've also seen quite a lot in this season, but Lewis can't turn in there because Adam's there, and he'll run wide, and he's actually under attack from Greg now. Greg won't pull out of that one, and rightly so, and he's through. Runs Lewis out a bit. Lewis will try to hold the inside, hits him on the straight there for some reason, and in fact Greg does take the place. Then Lewis hits him at the back again, and he might even lose out to Liam for being impatient, and Liam's going to try and swoop round as well around the outside. That's going to be brave. In fact, Lewis just runs him out, gives him a bit of contact, and the other pink car there of Coleman's coming through. Coleman, reserve driver for the pretty and pink team, and Lewis is off. Lewis has ran wide and drops another place to Liam, so Lewis is losing his head a little bit in these early laps. He's lost 2 positions for it. John meanwhile is marching forward, and he's attacking Jeff now for 10th place. No, sorry, Andrew for 10th place. And I'm sure he can get that move done if he keeps there, and Jeff's get a slipstream off his teammate. Into the first corner they go, but no, Andrew holds the place, and John has to wait his turn. And there's Liam. Liam's moved up a couple positions after a bit of a slack start, but he's up to 5th now through this middle sector. In fact, Nathan hasn't got away, and Ben's reacted, and he's actually closed Nathan down, and this is the most we've seen Nathan push this season. He's normally struggled in the reverse races to get through, but normally the first 2 races he just disappears and no one sees him again. But at the moment Ben's giving him a bit of a hard time. In fact, 3rd and 4th isn't decided either, because Greg's looking racy tonight. He's looking fast as well. He was quick in practice, didn't really qualify well. I think he was 7th on the grid as we mentioned, but now he's looking down the inside of Adam and trying to make the move and get himself on the podium, and not quite. He might be able to get the inside for the next corner, and he has Adam out braking him. He's run wide in the second part, and Greg's pulled the same move he pulled on Lewis earlier in the race, and he is through and into the podium space as well. Don't know what Greg had for lunch, but it's worked. Greg trying to redeem himself after a bit of a messy display in another championship race at Suzuka during the week, which he unfortunately crashed out of, but looking to redeem himself tonight and doing the right thing about it, looking for his first podium in British touring car racing. And meanwhile, Lewis is back up the inside of Liam, so he's got 1 place back. Liam's had to let that go, and his teammate Coleman in the pretty and pink Ford just behind as well, attacking Liam. So Liam's in the middle of a pink sandwich. I think the sort of thing that Leon looks for, to be honest. But and Liam down the inside, and that was ambitious. let's just call it that. He's a pretty ambitious move, and he gets a penalty for it. He's kind of just slammed into the front of Lewis there, and now John's out on the AstroTurf, and all his good work in the early laps has been undone, and he's down to unlucky 13. Meanwhile, at the front, Nathan's got a bit of a gap, but Ben's hanging on gamely as they come flashing through the middle part of this lap on lap 5. And John a bit wide, he might take out. Watch the camera, John. Meanwhile, at the front, Ben's flashing his lights in vain to try and put Nathan off because he's struggling to keep up. It looks like Nathan's got it, and Adam's flashing Greg to say, I haven't finished with you. Greg with that good overtake a couple laps ago, or a lap ago. Meanwhile, in the background, Lewis is pretty much on the grass trying to get past Liam. Liam goes a bit see-through. And Lewis retakes the position as Liam tries to get rid of some of that penalty. Remember, the penalties are supposed to be taken before the end of the race. We're supposed to get them out of the way, so he's also just trying to get rid of bits and bobs as the race goes on. But it's well, it's a bit of a Pretty and Pink versus Laser Tools race there in the midfield. But Nathan now definitely stretching away, and it looks like he's got this made. Yeah, Ben's just not able to hold on. And Greg's starting to edge away from Adam as well. Meanwhile, not edging away from anyone is Lewis, because he's got Liam just with a slight overlap as they head into turn 1. Coleman and Nick just waiting to pick up the pieces, but at the moment all is fair. With Will just off the back of that, Andrew and the SEAT team are struggling this weekend, really struggling by the looks of it, 10th and 12th, and we've seen Jeff up in the top 6 most races at the moment. But this track just really not suiting them, and the SEAT team are not having a great display. In fact, Leon's span on lap 1 was dead last and is already past Jeff, and he's looking to pass Andrew. Andrew was planning to make a tyre stop in this race, and I'm not really sure that was a great idea, but that's what we're hearing, so we'll look out for that if we can. We'll probably do it around about half distance, and we're heading that way now in the next 2 laps. So meanwhile, the biggest battle on the track is Lewis against Liam. He tried to move across, but it was too late. Liam's got a little overlap, but Lewis just shoots across the front. Liam loses a bit more of his penalty and keeps on at that rate. It should be gone. Lewis comes across again. Liam looks like he's going to hold it around the outside, and if he can hold it there, he's got the inside for this next corner, and Lewis tries to hold on but goes off, comes back on again, just misses his teammate. And then Nick in the other laser tool car, there we go, is on the prowl looking for 7th place. But they have to watch out because Will's just behind him. And Coleman with a bit of a dodgy line there into the last corner. Will just not quite able to get his nose in and underneath. And Will with a bit sideways on the exit of the last corner, but now the teammates are at it. Lewis trying to get straight back at Coleman. It looks like he should be able to get an inside move into turn 1. No, not quite. Looks for it anyway, but nope. They want to take each other off, but they also need to figure out a way of going forward here. So it's Laser Tools, Pretty and Pink, and Laser Tools again. And then the lone Chevy this weekend. But we're hoping that Brooksy can come in and cover the last race, but we'll keep an eye out for that. And there's also talk that Ash will turn up for the last race. Ben, they're quite tight on the inside. He needs to watch that because I've seen penalties given for that. And in fact, there you are. Shouldn't have done that. That was too much track use. That's a sort of term. And a few penalties now dotted around. And the Pretty and Pink cars are side by side. Luckily, they can trade paint because no one will notice. And it looks like Lewis is going to actually make this move stick for once, and he's got it done. Up into 6th place, so comebacks on. Will's already passed Nick, so Will's moving up for Team Chevy, trying to do them proud. But again, we'll go back to SEAT, and they are woefully off the pace at the moment, which is quite a surprise because they have been quite a good team this season already. Blue Moon Bay especially, Jeff getting great results. And there's John Riley near the back in 13th place, and at the back is Brian. Nathan now just cruising away, just like he always does. Ben looks pretty safe in 2nd at the moment, but probably he needs to get rid of that penalty at some point. and it's not disappearing like Liam's is at the first corner, so he needs to do something about that. There's Greg in a season's best third, or career best third in the British Touring Cars. I know he's capable of it, but not managed to do it, and Coleman's lost positions, and now we're going to see the replay of why. So he's just behind his teammate, but he has Will behind him. So what happens here? Coleman turns in, bash up the back from Will. Will pushed to pass, and you're not allowed to do that in the rules. And he's taking a position now. Will he give it back? Coleman's flashing to say you can't do that, and no, he's not. He's carrying on, but nothing was said after the race. So unfortunately, there's not a lot the stewards can do if they're not told. So Will keeps position, but shouldn't have. Over aggressive driving there from Will, unfortunately, and needs to learn from that. And there's Jeff trying to get down the inside of Leon, but it's not on, so he pulls out the move. Leon down the inside there with Andrew, and makes the move stick. Slight gap, but he managed to get in there, and then just forces Andrew off. Probably remembers the first lap when he got beaten up by Seats, and he's dishing it back out to them, but doesn't mean it's right. And Ben's off at the last corner and into the gravel and back out again. Where's Greg? Greg's there, so he maintains second place, but a lapse of concentration there, probably pushing too hard trying to keep up with Nathan, but it's just pretty impossible task this season. No one's managed to do it, and unfortunately for Ben, he makes a mistake, and that's not cost him position, luckily. So into turn one, though, he's lost another, and he's off again, and now onto the AstroTurf and bouncing around, and he's gonna lose position this time. And Greg's got through, and Greg can't believe it. His Christmas has come early, and he takes second place. Well, 2 mistakes in 2 corners. That's not really normal of the champion. He's normally better than that, but total mess up and total brain fade there. And well, see if you can get it back from Greg, but Greg's driving a stunner. Meanwhile, here's Coleman still struggling on, and Leon, having passed the Seats, is on a mission now, and after the next car in front of him. Andrew's had his pit stop and it's now dropped back, and still trying to figure out why he did it. But Ben looks like he's just starting to cruise into the back of Greg, but laps are running out. That won't have helped his tyres, those 2 moments. Coleman in 8th. Pretty good considering he called up pretty last minute. Greg holding down second, like I say, season best, career best if he holds this. He's not had a podium in British Touring Cars, so this could be the day. Like I say, there's still 5 laps to go, so I don't want to curse him. But Greg looking strong, looking neat and tidy. Ben is just about moving in on him, though. Probably desperate to redeem himself after 2, well, dodgy moments. So where's the action going to be then? It looks like it's going to be just provided by Adam and Liam, because Liam has been closing in relentlessly on Adam. Adam struggling in this late stage of the race with tyres. Liam looks pretty good on tyres, and he's catching him every corner. You can see it. And the Vauxhall and the Laser Tools racing car are going to go into battle, and Liam's there now. He's right on his boot lid, bit wide there from Ben, and Adam does the same thing, quite wide. And Lewis isn't that far back, so these guys really go at it, then Lewis can get involved. But Liam now looking for the move. He's taking swooping lines to try and make something happen, to try and get a run on the Vauxhall, but let's see as we head into the last corner. This is a tricky one, and you can get a good drive out of here. You can get someone down the inside at turn 1. So here we go. Liam's pretty well placed. Let's see what happens as they flash past the pits again, lap 15. And he's going to have to flick to the outside because Adam's got the inside covered, but he may try to flip down the inside and take the position, but nope, Adam's got that covered too. Just drifts wide mid corner though. Liam's looking around the outside, but not quite close enough for an overlap. He's not going to pull the same move as Lewis this lap like he did earlier. He managed to get around the outside of Lewis at that corner, and a great move, but not this time. So it is the 99 car ahead of 41 for now, but it really does look like Liam's got a hell of a lot more speed at the moment. Now he's looking down the inside of the last corner, and he'll make that work. He's got the inside, great bit of driving from both. Adam gives him enough space, Liam makes the move, but Adam now will try and drive him down the straight and try and get the move, try to retake the position even from Liam. So it's battle for 4th place, I remind you, with only a couple laps to go. Adam will try to go around the outside, but I can't see that working. He could try to flick to the inside, and now loses the back end of the car on the curb, but holds on. So here they go then, through the middle part of the lap. Adams doesn't look like Liam's going to drop him, though. He looks like he can come back at him, and Lewis isn't able to close. So these guys look like it's going to be a private battle for 4th place. I mean, while on his own and doing like a test session is Nathan. He's really pulled the pin now, and he's disappeared from this lot. Say most of these guys doing mid to low 52s at this stage of the race, but Nathan's still doing high 51s, so he's just a class apart at the moment. Either that or he's got another engine. Adam coming back at Liam. Liam might have to cover that, but he hasn't. He didn't need to. Just see that in the foreground. And here is Nick in 9th, Jeff up to 10th. Leon's gone back to 11th, so maybe made a mistake. John's up to 12th because of Andrew's pit stop, and Andrew's not gaining, so it hasn't worked for Andrew. And there's Brian, who looks like he's just made a mistake at the last corner, and his teammate's coming around to start his last lap. So this race has flown by, but it looks like Liam's just starting to edge away from Adam now. That's quite a big gap in touring cars, believe it or not. You can't really make a move from that far back, so that's what they call a bit of a safety margin. And Liam just looks to be taking tighter lines and has a bit more grip at this stage. Nick again in 9th place would be pretty disappointing because he finishes 8th most of the time. In fact, I think he's finished 8th in every race that he's took part in. So, well, actually I'll say he was safe, but Liam's just decided to take his penalty like he's supposed to, and almost lost 4th place doing it. So the gap he did pull, he's had to use to try and take his penalty, and he's still got a little bit left, so he's going to have to take it before the line. So he needs to have a really fast middle sector and hope that he can let off the throttle at some point. But not letting off the throttle is Nathan. He's got this one, and he's going to win. Whoa, little wobble out the last corner there, dips a wheel on the grass, but still manages to win the race. Now that would have been funny. Anyway, Greg will come through for a great result from 7th on the grid. 2nd place for Greg, season best podium, and his championship best for 2nd. Ben 3rd, disappointing with that. 4th for Liam, who does take his penalty just before the line, ahead of Adam. 6th for Lewis in an interesting race. Will controversially 7th. 8th for Coleman. 9th for Nick, but he gets 8th. He's got his 8th place. 10th for Jeff. 11th for Leon. 12th for, is that John? Well done for John, 12th place. 13th for Andrew, but the strategy just didn't work, and we'll have 14th for Brian, who's just coming through the last corner now. So another top bit of action there from the touring cars, and a great win for Nathan yet again. I think that's his 5th win now, and he confirmed there the results. Greg 2nd, Ben 3rd, Liam 4th, just taking his penalty at the end, just squeezing in 4th place. 5th for Adam, 6th for Lewis, 7th for Will, 8th of course for Nick, and 9th for Coleman, 10th for Jeff, 11th for Leon, 12th for John, and the rest you know. So join us for race 2 very shortly, and it'll be the finishing order of that race.